Okay, guys. So I realized that yesterday was supposed to be lesson 3, and today is supposed to be lesson 4, but they got switched around. So that was my mistake. So today we are learning to add with the arrow way, and it's lesson 3. While yesterday you were subtracting with the arrow way, and that was lesson 4. But either way, you're still learning, and it was just a mini mistake. Teachers make mistakes too all the time. So we're just going to pretend like this is lesson 4 with lesson 3 content, if that makes sense. Okay, so first, we'll start with our application problem, which is what we start with for the most part every day. We are going to read the problem, draw a picture, and write a equation and a sentence to match. All right, so my problem says a children's library sold 27 donated books. Now they have 48. How many books were there to begin with? Okay, so what I'm going to do first is draw a picture to go with this, and I'm going to draw a tape diagram. So I know they sold 27 books, and I'll put an S underneath there for sold. And now they have 48. What I want to know is how many they started with, and I'm pretty sure you have to add these two numbers. So I'm going to go 48 plus 27. 8 plus 7 is 15. Here the 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. 75. Let's hope that answer is correct. Let's look. Yep. They had 75 books to begin with. So I have an equation, I have a tape diagram, which is my drawing, and now I just need a sentence. Books. Okay. Now my application problem is complete. All right, so yesterday you guys learned about adding, or not adding, subtracting. It was supposed to be adding. You learned about subtracting numbers using the arrow way, and today we're going to go backwards and we're going to learn about adding numbers using the arrow way. So, which you guys pretty much already know how to do because we've done this a lot of times. So, what we're going to do first on your whiteboard, I want you to write 420 plus 100. Okay, so there's many ways that we can do this, but this way we're doing it the arrow way for this lesson. So what I'm going to do first is start with 420, and you can think of ways to write 100. You can go plus 50, and then you can write your answer, and then you can go plus 50 again. But I just like to go plus 100 up here. And since I'm adding 100, I know my number here is going to go up by 1, while the rest of them stay the same. So this is going to turn into a 5 and 20. The 20 at the end remains the same. You can also do this the standard way, kind of like how we all like to do it. A lot of people like to do it the standard way, where you just add your numbers, and you can do that to check your work to make sure these answers match. Use another strategy to check your work. And if they match, then you're all good. Okay, let's do another one. I want you to write 420 plus 110. Okay, so starting with the arrow way, I start with the number 420. And I like to break these apart. So in the number 110, I hear 100 and I hear 10. So what I'm going to do is add 100 first. So up here, I'm going to go plus 100. And whenever I'm adding 100, The number in the hundreds place stays the same, or not stays the same, goes up by 1 while the other 2 numbers in the tens place and the ones place stay the same. So this is gonna become 520. I added my 100, and now I have to add my 10. Remember, when you're adding 110, the number in the tens place goes up by 1 while everything else stays the same. So your final answer should be 530. And I can check my work by doing another way. Okay, so let's go 5, 3, and 0. And when both answers match, I know that I did my problem correctly. Okay, so let's do one more and we should be about done, just because this is pretty easy. Like, you're just adding hundreds, a number with where the hundreds change, and then you're adding a number where the tens change. So it's pretty easy for you guys. So let's start with 550 plus 200. Okay, 550 plus 200. So one way you can do this is starting with 550 and then breaking this number apart. You have 100 here and you have 100 here. And you can add those starting with your first 100. Whenever I'm adding 100, the number in the hundreds place is going to go up by 1. So that becomes a 6 while everything else stays the same. I added this one, so I'm going to add my next one. 750 should be your final answer. So you can do it that way, and you can also just go 550, draw an arrow, and then put plus 200 near it. If you don't want to like break apart your 200, you don't have to do that. You can do it whatever way that works for you, and you can check your answer using another strategy. So I'm just going to go with solving it mentally. 5 plus 2, 7, 5, 0. Okay, last one. Let's go with 550 plus 250. So there's many ways that you can do this. Like I said, you can break apart your 200, or you can literally just draw the arrow and then put plus 200. And this should be 550, not 500. So starting with adding 200, and this should be 250. You're going to go 750. And since I added my 200 already, I have 50 more to add. And it can help, like, it might help if you break this number apart. So I can like break it apart over here. In the number 250, I hear 200 and I hear 50. So I know I have to add 200 first, and then I can add my 50. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 5 is 10. So carry the 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. So your final answer should be 800. And you can check your work by using another strategy. And if you get an answer that matches with this answer here, you are correct. So on your problem set, you guys are going to be doing the same thing. You're adding using the arrow way. Try a couple of problems using the arrow way, and then if you don't have enough room, you can just do mental math, or you can do the vertical way, whatever works for you. And then on the back, you're doing the same thing. It says solve using the arrow way or mental math. And then down here, you are going to solve these problems that are in unit form. All right, so if you need any help, you can let me know or meet me during lunchtime.